Okay, so welcome. We are live and very interesting thing to discuss with you today, and that's making buildings using the Houdini building tool. There's a whole series of videos they did on that. I'm going to provide a link, and I went through them, and I'm still kind of going through them because it does get a bit involved. In this series, he constructs basic buildings. Then he shows you how to make a little city using scatter points. And where I'm running into a little issue is importing it into Unreal Engine. Well, let me start with the first issue I ran into is I was on Houdini. Houdini, if you're not familiar with, if you don't use it on a regular basis, it's very build specific. So very often, if they have a new build, like I was on 493, 493 for whatever reason was consistently failing. I don't know why. It it just the whenever I tried to hook in the parts to make a building, it would give me an error and it wouldn't show me anything. So I decided to update to 534, which is, well, as of earlier this week, the current build. And then it wouldn't come, Houdini kept crashing. So often that might happen because you have an incompatibility with a driver or with the rendering engine. So I have Redshift and Houdini, Redshift and Octane. Redshift was an earlier version, and in order to get it to work, I had to find the more recent version. Now, as for that, let me show you where that was. So I had to go under Redshift, under Custom Build, and get the Houdini one and the Solaris one. Yeah. Actually, I have to get the Solaris one. I may have to get that separately. But I got the Houdini one. And yeah, that allowed me to get it working again. Let me show you. Hopefully I can find it. I'm looking on another page here. Duck. I think it is in, show you, find it. And I'm finding it over here. I believe it's in user. It's in your user app data, local, and I believe it's under temp. And then Houdini temp. Okay, so let me show you where it is. So it's under my my username, app data local temp, Houdini temp. And there is, this is the crash log from, I guess, Thursday night. And let me see if this is the right one that I want to show you. No, that's when I was getting the wrong things out. All right, let's do it from, if that's it. Yeah. So here's the one I want to show you. So notice here, this is where it's failing. What did that tell me? It told me Houdini was not liking the old Redshift. So I had to, as I said, download the new one and then change my Houdini.env to point to that one, and it was happy. So that problem was solved. Let's get this out of the way. And again, these are where your plugins are if you're... So let's start from the beginning here. Let's see. This looks rather complex, but I'll explain it to you. Let me make this all bigger so you can see it. And so we can make it a little... See, this right now is in the form of an HDA. So basically, what's going to come in here is a form which sets the form of the building. Let's say a cube or a box. Box goes in, and this node here is what sets the, basically says which, why am I not seeing? I'm on settings. It basically sets the pattern based on the different, if you will, wall configurations that you made, which are, well, so this is two different wall configurations, base wall and floor 2. If it is in brackets, it means do this once. So it's saying one base wall and then fill it out with floor 2 in terms of filling your boxes here from bottom to top. So this is the floor patterns. Over here, we have the object that is going to define what this wall is going to look like. So in this case, it is this window pattern. Let me see if I can show this as a, make this much smaller and turn it so you can see it. So just a very simple thing that I made in Cinema to represent a window. The transform is to get it the right size, because Cinema, I think, is 100 times as big. I also rotated it so it would go the right way. This matches the size, so when it's building the building, it's the appropriate size. Now, this is the name of this module, this wall. And we have A, B, C, and D, distinguished by color in this case. This is how he does it. Then we have doing a similar thing, but in this case, these are floors. So you see how this says building module. And this is floor description. Now, again, this is a similar thing to what we saw in terms of building the floors. This is building the floors within a building. No. Building the list of floors based on the two types of floors we have, which is base wall and which is this, and this one, which is floor 2. Each floor is going to be built by these modules. So this says do a B and then a C, and then do as many A's as you need to fill in, and then end it with a C and a B. So that's describing the base floor, the bottom floor. Then floor 2 is saying do 1B in the middle, and then do A's surrounding it. We merge this all together, and then we put it in here, again, that we've seen before. So this is saying do the base floor, floor here, this one, the BCACB, and then doing as many of the floor 2s as you need to fill out, so when you look at this, you get our building. And you have a very basic building. You can see how nice it looks in terms of view of wall. Now, I haven't put roofs on it yet, but this is a basic building. What's coming in here, because this is now at this point in HDA. So we have 2 boxes, and then we have our Boolean, and we put them together. So basically what's input into this HDA is basically the form of the building. Okay. And now you can write out to an Olympic. Remember, now this is important. Cinema no longer has a direct connection to the Houdini HDAs. Unreal Engine does. Now I'm still fighting with that a little bit, but it does. It has a system design in place to put HDAs in Unreal Engine directly from Houdini. Cinema 4D does not, so you would have to output it as an Alembic. So that is the basis of, let's say, the first lesson or so in this series that they did. And of course you replace the colors with the material of your choice. Now the other cool thing, let me show you this. You can also make a set of buildings. So you have your box representing the building, you match the size. But instead of just, one building, you have this grid. Let's go to that, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to place scattered dots on there. And this is very commonly done in Houdini, where you scatter points and then you do a copy to points. So what this is going to do is copy a whole bunch of boxes. So now you have a set of forms that are going to be passed into this building, HDA. And when you look at this now, you have not just one, but a city. Very cool. And I even note, so brackets do it once, square brackets, angular brackets, it's fill in as many as you need, essentially. So let's talk a little bit more about making the HDA. I'm going to go back to an older version. Let's see. So this is from, let's see if this one works. It may not. No, I don't want to change anything here. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. All right, we got our box. And if we do this, do we have anything? Okay, so we don't have a pattern. So let's see what we're gonna do. So let's make a little grid. See if that's going to work. And this grid is going to be, let's see, 2 by 3. And we're going to make 2 by 3, I think. Well, let's make it 2 by 2. See that? And we're gonna have to, let's see what plane we want it in. Okay. Now, let me see. I think it's this one that we were using. And so this is a building module, and we're going to call it A. And we're going to say autofill dimensions. And we're going to do another one. Let's turn this off. Of course, in Houdini, you hit Alt to do copy. And here, got the grid. This is going to be 2 by 3. 2 by 3, like that. And try to do this by memory now. We're going to do merge. And this one is going to be floor A, let's call it. And we're going to have here and floor, oh. A, an expanded form would be A, because all we have is A. And module dimensions, 2 by 3. And we're going to merge these. And then put this in here. And this now, we should be able to see show floors. So, okay. Something it's not liking. It looks like it does not like something. I need to see what looks like I did something wrong here. Let's see what happens if I do 2 by 3 here. That makes it happier. No. So it is taking generic, and you can see you should have something. No, didn't quite get this working. Okay, let me save this and save as building test, and let's see what I did wrong. Oh, okay. Wrong one. Okay. So let's look at this and see what we got going. Ah, I didn't do a match size. That is one thing I didn't do. But other than that, I think everything is okay. So let's go back to this one. All right, so we need a match size. That's the only thing that I see I did differently. Stick it right there. And it's not copying it. Okay. Yeah. Now, that looks a little bit better. And it is still not liking the... Oh, I know. One thing you have to... I think you have to do... And I think it was this that I was doing. It's still not, still not taking it, so... for some reason it is not taking the patterns we have here. Let me open another Houdini and make sure I have... What? Because we are not... See if I can open two of them. There's something that's not right here, why it's not generating it correctly. And these are not complaining anymore. So we know this is happy. And this floor is happy. The floor is doing A, expanded form A. And this is caused A. And boy, this would be priority. So this is happy. When you put them together, it's just when you bring them here. So by having two, I can actually see the other one directly. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Because I did want to show it to you from so that you... Okay. This transform is specific to this. Model A, autofill, weight, And floor base to, okay. Let's see if we can copy that. And I'm going to just stick it in. Before I do that, let me see something. If I change this from 6 to 0, if that matters. No. All right, we'll just put one we know works. And escape. All right. Here we go. Now let's plug this in. Ah, we got to. This, of course, is not working because, let's get rid of this transform. And let's copy this grid. Here we go. No, it's not a copy. Here we go. That's a copy. And since all these grids were the same anyways, we can just do it like this for this particular case. Oh, this one has a grid. So, all right. Now we should have something, I hope. Let's go here. And there we go. So what happens if we you're not seeing it? I'm not sure why that's the case, because this is working now, where you assign it to base wall, and it should fill out this box. Well, oh, I know what the problem is. Too small. And let's scale it up. Scaled it up about 5 units. And you're seeing something now. And there you go. So this is very simple. And then you can make this part an HDA. Now what I had to do is I had to bring in the Alembic as a file, not as a, bringing in from another place, because HDAs don't like that because they're supposed to be self-contained. And you can see, well, this is interesting. Oh no, because we're looking at just the base floor. Now I'm curious why this one is, if I plug this in here instead, if it doesn't like it, why it doesn't like it. So it's something about this pattern it's finding invalid. And this is, And these are exactly the same except for the noise. This match size and this match size are the same. This base wall, floor description. Okay, base wall. Expanded form. Called it a different name. Did I check on expanded? There's our problem. That should be solve our problem. And this. So this is something that, let's see if we can refresh this. The funny thing is, these are almost exactly the same. So I thought by, okay, this is not, looks like a tongue. Well, you get the idea, even though we ran into some problem trying to do it from scratch. Let me close this one because it's no good. Anyway, well, I'll close them both because if I don't close them, we're not going to get anywhere. So I may have to just shut down Houdini and restart it. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, is shut down Houdini and well, it thinks it's shut down. I can't seem to kill this one. Okay, we'll have to deal with killing that later. Because it's not recognizing the fact that this is not recognizing the fact that H server, let's see if that'll kill this. Nope. All right. Getting on to this, since we're running into issues with Houdini, and I don't want to just reboot. So what you do here, and what I'm working on, is you bring in the HDA here. The HDA lives in your Houdini directory, which wherever you keep your Houdini object. So here's my Houdini 9.5 directory, and there's an OTLS. Here's where our our HDAs live. You just bring it in, you just drag it in here, and then you drag it onto here. Let's see if I can kill that and show you. So you just drag it on here. What the heck is that doing? No. Okay, it looks like you would just drag it on here. And then you have, let me see if I can start this, restart this. At least do that. Okay. My machine is a mess right now. So you know what? What we're going to do is, give me a minute. Oh, wait. It's, okay, I'll say save selected. It's letting me kill it nicely. Unlike Houdini, which does not seem to want to die. Let's start it up again. Got a little bit of a reprieve here. Got a little bit of a reprieve. So let's start that up. Building. Okay. I am going to figure out what's going on, but I'll show you where I ran into a snag. So we're here. We now can just drag this in here. And you have to tell it about the building. Well, what you want to use. So you go here, and is this gonna, I think because right now this whole thing is hanging. And that's probably because I cannot find. Here we go. All right, now it's looking like it might let me do something. So you scroll down, and you can see that's the window, which was my input, which I showed you earlier. And now you have to tell it about the parameters, and you got the inputs. So here's our input right here. This is where you input into the HDA. If I could, let's make this bigger now. All right. This is where you input. Now it's by default a geometry input. You want to, we're going to select this box here, so we'll make it a world transform. And we say start selection, and that pins this here. We click on the box, and we say use current selection. And notice that that big H turned into a little thing here. You can then move it, and there's your HDA. Now, one thing is with this box, it's a cube. After hidden game under rendering should be checked, so when you render it, you don't see it. Now, the problem I ran into getting back, let's get back to the Houdini engine, is if you notice, I'm using the generic pattern. If I try to change it to anything else, let's say floor 1, one of my, floor 2, let's, you notice, let's try floor 1. Thought it was Oh, well, we got something with floor 2. Let's see what we have. If we have something that actually is using floor 2 or floor 1, or is it, no, I don't think so. Because we can do, if we do, because I think my thing was named floor 2. But if we, base wall, which we know we had, and then we do, let's do a rebuild. Yeah, you see it doesn't like that. And when you show, one nice thing is they, well, you're not getting it. So notice there is a log. It should be here. Show cook logs. And it's giving me this. Notice it looks like it's seen stuff, but it can't talk to it. So this is something I have to try to sort out. In addition to, I'm very curious why something that was basically the same was not working. So anyway, this is where I am. But I think the coolest thing was the fact you can build entire cities very easily. The other thing with this, I can't show you now because my Houdini is not being very cooperative. It's not dying and it's not letting me kill it, which I'm going to close this and see if perhaps I can. But we'll just keep talking here. What's really neat about it is the fact that you, I'm going to stop sharing for the moment and go back to, okay. Well, we'll leave it as it is while I try to talk and kill and see if I can. The cool thing is you saw how I was able to build a city by scattering the different points and then pointing the building into that, or the, no matter what I do, this will not die. Okay, so we're going to work on that, and what I'm going to do also is I'm going to give you the links. I'm also going to do an edited version of this, so so I can skip all the stuff that I'm fussing around trying to figure out why this is, and maybe add something when I figure out what this is. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful in giving you introduction. It is it's a playlist you should go through. I'm still going through it. Again, I'm trying to get it to go into Unreal Engine. By the way, this will not work with the preview build of Unreal Engine. Reason being is the Houdini engine, that plugin that you need, does not seem to yet exist for it. This is the, let's see, I have the Unreal Engine. Let me show you this. So this is from Git. And you notice they have the branches. 5.2, when you go in it, and you go where they tell you, which is engine plugins, there is nothing for Houdini in here. Now, if you go into, let's try 5.0. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not seeing Houdini in here either. I may have, we are in plugins. I may have misread the instructions in terms of building it. but there are build instructions to manually build the plugin. And I thought I would have seen, this could be the plugins that they provide. And what they may be talking about, you have to add the code in here and build the runtime, you know, build this runtime. And sorry, I was in the still, but you may have to put it in here and then build this runtime, or rebuild this thing with it there in order to get your you know, get it working. Because if you, looking at this, you see they have the setup BAT and the setup SH, so that's, these are two, I believe, let's look at this. Yeah, this is using installing prerequisites. Maybe this isn't the one. Oh, it's a setup. This may be, so this is, looks like it could be the build command. I'd have to look at that. But you may have to like rebuild the engine in order to, you know, actually have the Houdini plugin regenerated. So anyway, so again, hopefully this has been useful. And as I said, I'm going to be doing some more work on this, and because I think it's very helpful when you're doing scenes, you're going to need buildings. And if you want to build buy a bunch of buildings that are already there, you can do that. It could be expensive, or you can generate your own however you'd like them. And so I'm going to be showing you more how to do this. Again, if you're putting it into Cinema, you're going to generate alembics and do it that way, because you can't do it automatically as you could in Unreal when it's working. So, okay, thank you. And if you've been watching, really thank you. And I will speak to you next time. Take care.